At 60 years old, Claude Lemieux passed away, taking his own life just days after a final public appearance at the Montreal Bell Centre. In the wake of the news, an outpouring of grief flooded the hockey world. Former teammates and colleagues remembered him as an intensely loyal friend, a devoted father, and a beloved locker room presence. Yet out on the ice, he spent 21 seasons cultivating a contrary reputation. To opposing fans and players across the NHL, Claude Lemieux was public enemy number one. This contradiction defines his legacy. He represents a paradox where the league's most despised villain was simultaneously its most coveted asset. This chart shows his on-ice transgressions. A towering bar reaching 1,777 represents his career penalty minutes, driven by fights and violent suspensions. But his data has another side. Right alongside that penalty record, we find 80 playoff goals and 4 Stanley Cup rings. How does a ruthless enforcer possess the precision required to become one of the most prolific playoff champions in hockey history? Lemieux operated with a singular methodology, where his reputation for violence created the necessary conditions for his elite skill to succeed. This strategy surfaced early, during the Montreal Canadiens' 1986 championship run. As a rookie, Lemieux immediately handled the pressure of the postseason, scoring 10 playoff goals to help secure the Stanley Cup. 2 of those 10 goals happened in sudden death overtime, a scenario where the slightest mistake ends a team's season. That performance earned him the nickname King of Spring. It demonstrated that his high-adrenaline, aggressive play style was calibrated for the demands of the NHL postseason. By 1995, playing for the New Jersey Devils, Lemieux refined this physical approach into his crowning individual achievement. He scored 13 playoff goals during that title run, earning him the Conn Smythe Trophy as the most valuable player of the postseason. He accomplished this by weaponizing his 6'1", 215-pound frame. He utilized an abrasive, heavy-hitting strategy designed to systematically exhaust opposing defenders over the course of a 7-game series. When defensemen are bruised and frustrated, they lose half a step. That physical exhaustion created the space on the ice Lemieux needed to execute high-skill offensive plays. His physical intimidation served a distinct purpose. It was a tactical tool used to dismantle defensive lines and force scoring opportunities. But that physical aggression frequently pushed the limits, reaching a crisis point shortly after his 1996 move to the Colorado Avalanche. During the Western Conference Finals, Lemieux delivered a violent check from behind on Detroit Red Wings forward Chris Draper. The hit broke Draper's jaw, nose, and cheekbone. The fallout from this hit ignited one of hockey's fiercest rivalries and proved that Lemieux was willing to cross the line from aggressive to dangerous. Because opponents knew he was willing to cross that line, a constant threat of violence loomed over his shifts. Opposing teams started focusing their energy on retaliating against him rather than tracking the puck. The psychological disruption worked. By playing right on or over the edge, he became the 10th player in NHL history to win back-to-back cups with different franchises, succeeding even as he was widely vilified. Lemieux's instigating and his scoring were the same mechanic. The Stanley Cup playoffs demand a grueling, trench warfare style of hockey. When players are violently colliding into the boards shift after shift, skill often fails to survive if it isn't protected by grit. His aggression and his elite scoring were codependent. By fully embracing the brutal environment of the playoffs, his skill thrived where purely offensive players faded away. This integrated approach allowed him to maintain an elite level of consistency, leading to 15 straight playoff appearances. This radar chart visualizes the scale of his postseason impact. He logged 234 playoff games, 1,777 career penalty minutes, and 19 game-winning goals. He leveraged those metrics into a championship career, securing 4 Stanley Cup rings across 3 different franchises. Claude Lemieux defined the modern playoff performer, a player every opponent despised, but a champion every franchise would sacrifice anything to have on their roster.